Okay, what we're doing today is I'm going to make, roughly, give or take, about 32 buttermilk biscuits. And the price of them in the store is just outrageous, so I'm making my own now. So what we start with is about 5 cups of flour, like that. And what we're going to need to do is just kind of make a little indentation, because I got to put buttermilk in there. And what we're going to do with these is I'm going to freeze them, so I can have them, except for the couple I'm going to have. People make these 2-ingredient biscuits, and they make them with heavy cream. Well, I make mine with buttermilk. And I know people say you can't, but if you look, buttermilk has got more fat than the heavy cream does. And you know, you could tie a cake and put butter in them and do all that kind of stuff if you want real butter. But buttermilk. So I'm just going to pour some buttermilk in here, and that's enough to get started. Then I'm just going to start mixing it up. And what you want to do is make it up till it's a good consistency. So it's going to be roughly about 2.5 cups of buttermilk by the time I get done. So, as you can see, it's starting to clog up, come together, but there's still not way enough in here, buttermilk, but it will be. And anyway, when my grandma used to make these, she would take and put butter in it. And this is made with self-rising flour, folks. This ain't, you know, all-purpose flour, because self-rising flour is just a little easier to deal with. And what we use is white lily flour, because it seems to be the best. And see what I'm doing, just kind of doing it. What you want is just enough buttermilk, just so things will be sticky and stick together. And see, I'm just kind of turning it over on each other. Get all the flour and that off the bottom, because it's starting to come together. When I get this all done, I'm gonna make, like I said, I already got a pan out to put them on. Gonna need just a little more, I see, because it ain't quite wanting to gel together yet. Because what I'm going to do, like I said, is freeze these, and then that way when I want biscuits, all I got to do is take them out of the freezer. And those store-bought ones, like I said, they're getting outrageous. I went and looked at them the other day, and it was like $8 for 20 of them. Well, if I do this right, because what you're supposed to have is 2 to 1. So for every 2 cups of flour, you want roughly 1 cup of fat, which would be heavy cream, or in my case, I'm using buttermilk because I like to taste better. And they come out a whole lot fluffier. They're not quite there yet, so I'm going to add a little more buttermilk. And I don't know about you folks, but I was raised on buttermilk. My grandpa would have, my grandma would make buttermilk biscuits. Then right after they come out of the oven, we would take and crumble them up in a bowl and put buttermilk on top and sit and eat it that way. And what you want is sticky, and it's pretty sticky, but they're not quite sticking together yet. There's still more flour in it. So in that case, and when you got stuff all over your hands like this, you gotta get it off there. But the problem is, I don't have any flour out. Because if you got flour, all you gotta do is just take your hands and put a little flour on them and rub them like this, and do it, and it comes off. But get all this stuff worked in here real good. Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, now it's getting a little doughier. Because what you want is a dough that sticks together. So, trying to get everything to gel. And it looks like it's doing a pretty good job of it right now. Not quite there. So we might need a little more milk. But it's starting to get there. Yeah. Still got a little flakiness on stuff. And buttermilk, folks, will make your biscuits a whole lot better, lighter, fluffier, and better tasting than heavy cream. Now, I don't know where it started at or who said the heavy cream part, but said you can't use buttermilk. Well, I got news for you, you can. My grandma used buttermilk ever since I can remember to make them. Yeah, see how that's starting to stick together? That's just about the consistency that we're looking for. Yeah. Yeah. Much better. Much better. Okay. Now, I ain't got the oven on because, well, I'm not going to do. I'm going to do them in our new wave oven. It's a lot faster and don't have to heat the whole house up. Okay. Excuse me for a minute, folks. I got to get the rolling paper out and all that. Okay. See, this here is a mat to protect the flour and stuff. So what I'm going to do is put a little flour. Actually, I'm going to put a lot of flour. Spread it out, kind of like that. Yeah. There we go. Then just kind of scoop this and roll this out, just like so. And now we're going to do the hand bit. We're going to kind of knead it. We ain't going to do a whole lot, just enough to kind of put a few things together. Trying to make them out and make them a little fluffy. There we go. It's looking good. Yeah, feel that dough. Some people use a rolling pin, but my grandma never did. She just did them with her hands. And that's what we're doing. So that's the way I was taught. Okay. A little flour up in there. Yeah, see how it all crumbles out? Okay. And somewhere we got a biscuit cutter, or that she had. I don't remember where it's at. And just take and cut them out like so. And when I get done, we should have about 25, 30, give or take some. Okay, and then just kind of peel this out away. You don't want to twist them when you cut them, because then they won't rise like they're supposed to. Like my grandma says, they squat to rise, and if you twist them, well, they'll get cooked in the squat. So that's what happens. But see how this is all coming out? And what we'll do then is take and put these in the freezer. These here are 2-ingredient, as people call them now, buttermilk biscuits. My grandma always just called them quick buttermilk biscuits. And these are about a 1/2 to 3/4 inch thick, give or take. And they'll rise once we cook them. Okay, and just kind of take and put that all back on top of each other. And what we'll do is do this again. We gotta get them down to about the same consistency. Alright, then we just take and cut them again. And see, you do that till they're all gone. Looks like I'm going to need another baking sheet here, folks. That one's not quite. Had a couple flies in the house. I got rid of a couple of them, but I got to get me another baking sheet out here. Like so. These here are some parchment paper to put on it. The parchment paper will keep them from sticking. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. When I get all done, I'll put these in the freezer. They will freeze and takes about 2-3 hours, and I will show you then, once they're frozen, what they look like and how to package them. And if I wasn't going to stack them on top of each other, which is what I'm going to do, just take and kind of put this together again. Do the same thing that I've been doing. Just taking, kind of put it together. And you don't want to knead. See, people make the mistake of kneading them too long. I mean, yeah, these are going to be a little tougher because they've been the last little bit of it. But that's alright. They'll still be light and flaky. These here. Turn it in on itself so it kind of gets back together. Roll it in the flour. Put it out. Do it again. And what we used roughly was about 5.5 cups of flour. 5 cups of flour, 4.5, 5, I don't know exactly what I had. Something like that. I just do it, and then buttermilk, and the baby one here. That's always the baby. I used to get it because I was my grandma's baby, even though I was the oldest grandkid. I was there first. So I used to get all the stuff. And anyhow, I'll show you here in a second what we got. Okay, what we got here, as you can see, is 12, 18, 19, 20, 21 biscuits, not counting the 2 I already got over there to free. And so right now, I'm going to put these in the freezer. And when I get done, when they get frozen, I will let you know. And okay, it's been about 4 hours now. And see, my biscuits are hard as a rock. So what I'm going to do is just take them and put them in the baggie here. Then that way, I will have biscuits whenever I want. And I'll be good to go. Just seal them up. And see, that's why I froze them, because if I didn't freeze them and I would put them in here like that, well, then they would smash and stick to the bag. So that's why. And see, it didn't take that long to do this. But now I have fresh biscuits, only made with 2 ingredients. Not like the store-bought that's got so many ingredients it takes you a half hour to read it. So there we go. And if you're enjoying our kind of stuff like this, I made these because somebody had said something about how do I make biscuits. Anyhow, that's another day. If you're enjoying this, let us know. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, God bless, and have a better than average day.